The Darwin Incident is an anime adaptation of Umezawa Shun's manga of the same name. Its first season has 13 episodes, produced by Belnos Films, with Inozume Shinichi handling series composition and Zuda Naokatsu directing. The manga is still ongoing and has released 10 volumes so far. After the anime finished its first season, there was no announcement yet about a second season. The story covered up the manga's fourth volume. The story is set in a small town in Missouri, USA. The protagonist, Charlie, was born 15 years earlier from the artificially combined sperm of a human and the egg of a chimpanzee, creating a half-human, half-animal being known as a human Z. Through one character, the series explains the traits of human Zs. Hybridization amplifies the strengths of both species. So Charlie's body functions like that of a chimpanzee, while his intelligence resembles that of a human, and both are expressed more strongly in him. The series repeatedly shows Charlie's extraordinarily keen hearing and eyesight. His agility and speed make him hard for humans to track, and his strength is enormous, far beyond what his small frame would suggest. He also has normal human reasoning and language, and can discuss abstract topics such as veganism, animal rights, and punishing criminals, though he doesn't fully understand human emotions and can only learn them from books and other people. Born to a chimpanzee mother, Charlie is monitored by a research institute, then adopted by the Steins, who try to raise him as an ordinary person and enroll him in a local high school. From there, the story begins. What starts as an ordinary human life becomes entangled in the schemes of extremists because of Charlie's unusual origin, gradually expanding from a small story into a major mystery. I regard the Darwin Incident as a rare and valuable work. It tells its story firmly and, on that basis, pushes viewers to think about social issues, but without excessive sensationalism, form mystery, or melodrama. Below are a few of its most striking strengths. Challenge the audience. Face the controversy. This series touches on political and ethical controversies in several areas. A few examples are as follows. 1. Human beings eat meat, meaning they consume animals. Cannibalism is generally seen as morally intolerable. Wild animals are divided into those that may be eaten and those that may not. Why is it only humans and some animals that are granted protected status? 2. Plants and animals are both alive. Eating animals seems unethical to some people because animals can feel pain. But others point out that plants may also be capable of pain. If so, would eating plants also be unethical? Before science can fully prove or disprove this, who can rationally say what is or is not moral to eat? 3. Animals are controlled by humans, including as food and as experimental subjects. Some people simply take care of themselves, for example by going vegan and not buying animal products. Others think one should influence others, or even threaten those who harm animal rights, in order to stop them from hurting animals. When defending animal rights, where should the line be drawn between concern for others and concern for oneself? 4. Charlie is an artificially created being made from a human and a chimpanzee, something history has never seen before. He can communicate with humans, fit into ordinary life, and even help human beings, yet his physical abilities far exceed human imagination, and some fear that he is a potential threat or could be used by ambitious people. Legally, Charlie doesn't have the same status as a human and is not a pet in the usual sense, so he doesn't automatically receive corresponding protections. How should society regard Charlie? If the above controversies were expressed only through dialogue, it would inevitably become wordy. The Darwin Incident instead develops them through both the plot, meaning the conflicts and scenes created by the characters' actions and interactions, and through dialogue. The dialogue is kept brief and to the point. It sketches the outline of the controversy and uses one or two lines to identify its core. Works that can be compared with this include Mobile Suit Gundam Unicorn and Orb on the Movements of the Earth, Both are works in which the creators clearly want to convey a message, and they do so through character dialogue, but the result is often tedious and nagging-like. The Darwin incident is more restrained, and precisely for that reason the audience must stay fully focused to follow the ideological conflicts. The Darwin incident doesn't avoid these controversies. Instead, it compels the audience to follow and ponder. In the series, people with opposing views often discuss and even confront one another, creating conflict. This happens roughly once every 1 and 2 episodes, clearly by design, so that the controversial issues are evenly distributed. If the production had decided to treat the Darwin incident as pure mass entertainment, then whenever controversy arose, it could have simply let the characters smooth things over with vague, sentimental, mildly inspiring lines and moved on. But the Darwin incident actively excavates these controversies and continually prompts viewers to think about them. That is rare in anime history, let alone in an era dominated by popular genres and narrative formulas. In this respect, the Darwin incident is bold. What further challenges the audience is its treatment of social taboos. Episode 6 depicts high school student Gale being corrupted by extremist ideology and shooting schoolmates on campus. This upset quite a number of North American viewers, which is of course understandable. But judged as a work of fiction, the scene is shocking without being excessively graphic, and it is not meant to be sensational for its own sake. Narratively, the scene plays a crucial, transitional role in the season. On the one hand, as a shooting incident, it presents the intensity of the conflict between Gale and those in the school who hold opposing views. In other words, the point at which the animal rights dispute becomes something people are willing to answer with violence. Since the shooting appears in the middle of the season, the story's focus afterwards shifts from Charlie's integration into ordinary human life to his relationship with the terrorist organization, Animal Liberation Alliance. Some viewers will certainly feel uncomfortable after watching it, but setting preference aside, the portrayal of terrorists radicalizing the young and of ideological division leading to violence reflects social reality. The fact that the series doesn't shy away from making viewers uncomfortable and places such material at a central point in the story is another way it challenges its audience. Another, less obvious issue is interspecies romance. In the latter part of the season, Charlie enters puberty. He doesn't fully understand human vocabulary or customs surrounding sex and romance, and he asks his female friend, Lucy, for a request to mate. Lucy understands that he is ignorant of human affairs and doesn't react negatively to his blunt wording. At the same time, Lucy is an outsider at school, has few friends, and clicks with Charlie. Later, they even go through life and death experiences together. Lucy blushes and politely refuses, saying, "If it were you, I wouldn't mind, but I'm not ready yet." If they will ultimately become romantically involved, what sort of relationship would that be? Moral conservatives would produce a whole list of alarming labels, while bizarre scenes lovers would look forward to an unusual spectacle. Showing social controversy, portraying terrorism, or introducing human-animal romance, all of it ultimately points to ethical questions. No character in the Darwin incident suddenly drops a slogan backed by swelling music as if the author were handing the audience a standard answer. But that very lack of an obvious answer pushes viewers to reflect on the issues themselves. Dozens of characters supporting the theme. The cast is neither too large nor too small, and each character serves a clear purpose in the story. Their personalities differ, and they occupy different positions on the ideological spectrum, collectively presenting a wide social cross-section. This cross-section is not included merely to portray a colorful world or assemble a grand collage of humanity. Rather, it serves to reveal the complexity of the series' central themes. Early on, the school has a debate over vegetarianism. Among those against vegetarianism is a simple-minded, impulsive Aussie. There is also Trevor, who understands some theory and leans towards rational debate. Among the supporters are the gentle Lucy and the radical Gale. Then there are Mia and Kayla, who have no opinion on the issue but are afraid to take a position and worry that getting close to Lucy will get them excluded. Among the town's residents, police, and other adults, each group can likewise be divided into different attitudes towards issues, together showing society is full of conflicting viewpoints. In this series, such a situation, combined with the theme of social controversy, demonstrates how difficult these issues are to explore. Taken together, the story, the plot, and the characters all stay tightly connected to the core question posed to the audience, and the coordination among these major elements is highly skillful. Other strengths, still important. The two major strengths discussed above are rare in anime, but two more points are deserve mention, and there are likewise reasons this work stands out. First, the storytelling is steady, suspense is set up appropriately. Without resorting to empty mystification, there are still surprising turns. The pacing is also well judged, and the end of each episode often leaves a hook that draws viewers on. Second, the voice acting is excellent. The two most outstanding performances are Tanezaki Azumi, who voices Charlie, a half-human, half-animal character like a taciturn boy, fully displaying her versatility as a voice actress, and Otsuka Akio, who plays the terrorist Feyerabin, whose surface friendliness conceals a warped and scheming mind. All of this raises the work's artistic value. Deeper reflection. How real is realistic? The series may invite criticism on the grounds of realism. First, because of how faithfully it portrays real-life America, and second, the scientific plausibility of creating a human Z. In anime criticism, however, neither point is decisive. The series opening states that the story is set in Missouri, and its style is realistic, which may lead viewers to expect that most of its content directly reflects the real world. But that is a mistaken expectation. The author borrows the setting so that the audience can grasp the content without having to build an entire world from scratch, making the story easier to begin. That doesn't mean every leaf and blade of grass must be a factual record. A British or American drama labeled realist would not do that either. If it did, it would be a documentary rather than a fiction. As Lo Sun once said of literary satire, it needs not be a factual event that has actually happened, but it must be a real situation that could happen. The second issue is the scientific plausibility of a human Z. At least in current scientific research, humans and chimpanzees can't be crossbred. People have attempted it before but failed. It is also hard to imagine such an experiment being permitted in an open society like the United States, where scientific ethics would intervene. The series explains Charlie's exceptional qualities by saying that a human-chimpanzee hybrid would amplify the advantages of both species in the offspring. That is highly questionable, looking at known cases of human hybridization. The idea that one can keep all the advantages while avoiding the drawbacks is not necessarily possible. Nevertheless, in this work the point is not enough to count as a flaw. Since it is a fictional story, an element that doesn't match reality can be justified by the unexpected developments fiction is allowed to contain. Conclusion: treasure it and look forward. So far, the Darwin Incident anime has only released one season, while the manga is still ongoing. It is not yet possible to make a final judgment about the whole story. Even on the basis of the first season alone, it is enough to make one look forward to what comes next. Viewers might like or dislike its subject matter, style, or plot, but anime fans should cherish works that dare open up unusual themes and execute them well. As for how strongly one insists on viewing a work through the lens of is this realistic or is this an allegory for something, that is ultimately a matter of personal choice. If you have any idea or like this video, please comment, like, subscribe and share. I'll be grateful if you support me on Patreon or Substack, making us go even further. See you on the next video.